Hey there, my friends. Stan Gray here. Another interesting question that I've come across during my deconstruction process. I wanted to run it by you guys. So this is related to the Garden of Eden, the first conflict between humans and God, this God character in Christian lore. In Genesis 3, verse 22, God says, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever." And that's why God banished Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. So basically, the problem was God didn't want human beings to live forever once they had acquired the knowledge of good and evil, because that would make them too much like God himself or themselves, or whatever way you want to phrase that. So one of the things I'm wondering is, why is it so bad for human beings to have the knowledge of good and evil to begin with? Especially since that's necessary for the Christian conception of humanity's value to God, being willing servants that are able to choose good over evil. If they never got that knowledge of good and evil, then that would never have been possible. And that's why I talk about in my other video that God literally must have wanted that to happen and planned for it to happen. He knew it was going to happen. He set it up the way that he knew it would happen, and he let it happen. He stood by arm's length away and allowed the serpent to convince Eve to eat the fruit. He didn't stop her from eating the fruit. He didn't stop the serpent from talking to Eve. He allowed everything to happen, and apparently he was right there. He's omnipresent. He did nothing to stop it. And here's the thing, though. This is the thing that really is kind of like glitching my brain a little bit. Now that humans do have the knowledge of good and evil, whereas previously he thought it was a problem for humans to have the knowledge of good and evil and then also be immortal, at the end of the day, the end game for God is for these people, the same descendants of these very people who ate the fruit and became enlightened in knowing good and evil, they're eventually going to live forever in heaven, right? So if you're a good and faithful Christian and a strong believer and very confident in your beliefs, maybe you can help me understand, why is it no longer going to be a problem in the future, after the end of days and after the rapture and all that stuff, when good and evil knowing human beings are going to be in heaven, living forever, or not even in heaven, on a new earth, with new physical bodies, which many Christians believe are going to be immortal then. I mean, I guess they would be the ones who chose God and defeated their sinful natures by accepting Jesus. I guess that would be the argument, and somehow that makes it okay for them to know good and evil and be immortal? Or is it that there's no longer going to be any such thing as evil, so people are going to have no choice but to be good and only know good, and then they'll be immortal, and that's the end game that God wants? I'm just wondering, you have to know good and evil to be able to choose God, but once you do choose God and then you die, you'll no longer be aware of evil and you'll just know good and you'll be immortal then. Is that the way it works? This is just another one of those weird things that when you really start thinking about it, the logic of it just seems so wonky and strange. And I wanted to put this question out there because I think it's important. And I figured maybe someone thinks they have a good response to this. So I'll end this one right here. Keep it really short, simple. If you've got a good response to this, let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, or if it made you think about something different, unique that you haven't really thought about before, drop a like on the video, subscribe, comment down below if you have any thoughts, and I'll see you next time, my friends. And remember, if you want the truth, you've got to ask the right questions. I'll see you later.